Hi guys, it's Jamie. Just wanted to share some of the scrapbook layouts I've made over the past year before I put them in an album. I scrap mostly for my stash. I do have some new things that I pick up now and then to put into the mix, but hope you enjoy. Here's one I made using the Echo Park Imagine That collection for girls primarily. This grid paper in the back is an older Echo Park. I don't remember what collection it came from. This one I just punched out a bunch of 1-inch circles and layered them in concentric rows. I used my silhouette to sketch some circles to help me get those straight, and then used the machine to stitch those down. This one is an older Echo Park collection. I do stitching on nearly every layout. I just love the detail that gives. This one, a friend had picked out some scrapbooking paper, one of those paper pads from Michael's for my birthday. It definitely isn't a paper pad that I would have chosen for myself, but I thought I would challenge myself to use it for a couple of layouts, and this is one of those. This ring cut file in the background is a free one from Paper Issues, as is the leaves. I think the Grateful might be as well. I cut the Grateful out of, I think, 2 or 3 layers of white cardstock and then this wood grain paper, and then did like a gold dip technique just using some washi and embossing powder, and then had fussy cut some of the florals from one of the papers. This is a layout just documenting my love of the frost that comes during the winter. I really like this one. This paper is My Mind's Eye collection I picked up at Tuesday morning. It had the gold foiling in it, and I just added some more gold glittery details with some die cuts from my stash. I don't know what die it was, but I really like the way that those really fine little leaf dies look on that layout. This layout was documenting our trip to get a Christmas tree with my sister and her family. I used a sketch for this one. Another layout about the nieces that uses the Imagine That Girl collection from Echo Park again. Just use some larger circle punches to make these scallops, and again stitched them down, and more stitching around the layout there. This was a scrap lift. Tracy Fox was the one I scrap lifted, but she had scrap lifted somebody else. That's all on my Instagram if you want to look at the originals. But this paper is mostly We Are Memory Keepers older collection. There's a little bit of Echo Park mixed up in there, and then a little washi. I am by no means a mixed media expert, but I do enjoy playing with it now and then. This one I did some ink smushing in the background, and just stitched some papers down, did a little bit of journaling. This is more Echo Park from my stash. This one documents a brand new little nephew. I used black and white pictures on this one and a bunch of stuff from my stash. I really like how this one turned out. I think just the soft colors are nice, but there's some crepe paper cute girl, and I can't remember the name of this collection, but this was just one of those like super thin American Crafts papers you get at Joann's, so I did back that on a piece of cardstock that I likely wouldn't use otherwise. Tore a little bit out here, did some embellishing here. This wood veneer fox is some old freckled fawn, but I used some of the pattern paper to fussy cut some of these other embellishments, and like I said, I thought this one came together really nice. I liked it. This one, I have seen those fringed hearts everywhere, and I was dying to try one. This is old Cartabella line, and I thought it worked really well for this heart. And then just did some layered butterflies in some of the clusters for additional embellishment. Layered some gold text vellum over some pattern paper, and then just stitched down the center of those. This one is another of those hot buy paper pads from Michaels. I saw it, I think, like something Dreamland, I don't remember, but the papers in this pad are so cute, and I have so many nieces, so it has been really fun to use this paper pad to document some of our time together with them. This was a sleepover with my little 5-year-old niece. Again, more machine stitching. And then this one was another sketch that had you kind of stack tags over to the side, and I thought that turned out kind of fun. This is a 6x12 that kind of accompanies that last page. It uses that same Dreamland paper pad from Michaels. And this was just the morning after our sleepover, and talked about how cute she was and excited she was to see her little sister. And she had made a necklace for her. We made necklaces for both of them, and so the little one's checking out her necklace, and she's trying to love on her. This layout, I did some origami, folded up these papers. All of these origami folds are from a Recollections stack. That is one thing that is super nice for is origami. The nice thick pattern papers are harder to get those good folds with, so I liked that. Just stitched down several rings to make kind of a wreath base, and then added those folded flowers and leaves in, and then added some thickers for my stash. And then this star trim I got on clearance a couple years ago after Christmas at Target, and I always like using that. I think it adds kind of a fun puffy element and different texture on those pages. This one is one that I wasn't really happy with. You have those ideas in your head that just don't translate to paper. That was this one. But it's scrapbooked and it tells the story. But I cut this art palette out with my silhouette and had just sketched the palette and used those lines to do a chain stitch around. And then I added some acrylic paint to the centers of those, and then did kind of a rainbow chain stitch over here. Then a mess of thread down under this flare badge, but like I said, it's not my favorite, but it can't all be right. This was another scrap lift, and I apologize, I don't remember who it was. I do believe I linked to their original layout on my Instagram, and I will link my Instagram account below. But they had done rows of stars here in these quadrants and stitched them down. I really liked the way that looked, and I had punched out a bunch of stars, but when I tried it on this layout, it just didn't work. So I decided to modify it a little bit, and I used decorative scissors and border punches to punch out a couple different scalloped edges. Do you know what? I think this might be a wave die from Lawn Fawn, not a punch, but layered those up, stitched them down, added a couple of kind of color blocked embellishments. These are from an Echo Park sticker sheet, but I really liked the way that this turned out. Did a little ink smushing behind the upper left and the bottom right quadrants. So here are all those stars I had punched out for the last layout. I just took out the pink and purple ones, used the other colors to document these photos from clear back in 2011. But just did some black doodle lines around the outside just to kind of contain the page, and then added some Studio Calico wood veneer stars. I think they're Studio Calico. I could be wrong. And then just used up some old word stickers. Another 8.5 by 11 layout using some Echo Park stash. It's about one of our pups. This was another scrap lift. Again, I have the original posted on my Instagram page. This uses some Felicity Jane, and the chipboard is from Echo Park, and then just a couple miscellaneous things on there. But the original had the title kind of cut out of this big sheet. And then I added it just on this paper to make it 12 by 12. I believe the original layout was an 8.5 by 11. But I tried to do like some ink smooshing, and then my stitching I tried to do in the same rainbow to mimic this pattern paper from Felicity Jane. This one was another sketch. I believe it's a Laura Whitaker sketch. I really like her designs. They're just really clean. And again, more stitching, and then most of the stuff at the bottom here, just documenting another niece's first birthday. Sorry, that's probably glaring on there. So this is more of that Echo Park Imagine That Girl collection. And last one for this video was a paper cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict. I had seen Virginia, the owner, use this cut file, and she had done some mixed media under it, and I thought it looked really cool. So I sort of mimicked her in that I added the texture paste stars. I don't know if you can see those. She had color coordinated hers, but I decided to do the stitching in the colors and then added that, just the white texture paste through a star stencil over top of the stitching. The papers from this are again from that Michael's Hot Buy Dreamland pad, and just documents my obsession of school supplies. Anyway, I'll have another video with some of the rest of those layouts, but thanks for watching. Bye.